See, we're live on both streams are up. Facebook's up, YouTube's up. Um, let's dig right in. Right, this stream's gonna be a little different. You know, I've been starting my previous streams covering the stock market and then going into crypto, but the movement past a few days has been very much crypto centric. Right, we did see BTC finally break out to the upside. So I'm gonna start with that. Right, with our biggest mover. It's where the excitement is right now. And we'll dive into stock market, and I'm also going to go over what I published back in December and how that's very relevant to what's happening now, and so forth. But first things first, let's start with BTC. Last stream, last few months, ever since we broke above, back in July, we broke above the 10K mark. I'd said that my next target's going to be at 13,586, right? And how am I getting these targets? I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much clear out my chart and draw these over, right? You're gonna start them over. It's 61.8 retracement, guys. That's where the market is going to end up on any kind of retracement, whether it's bullish or bearish. Now, based on the 2019 to 2020, 2019 high, 2020 low, we broke above that retracement. That's what had me bullish above 10,000, right? During this drop. Some of you guys in VIP are like, hey man, kind of panicking. And I'm like, don't sell. Worst thing you can do is put a stop below this pennant because we're going up, right? We're above that 61.8. So where's the next target, right? So the next 61.8 is going to be the all-time high, right? So we're going to go back to our 20K top, go down to our absolute bottom, right? For since that retracement, and then what's good the chart doing? It's retracing back to 61.8. If you guys have been watching the streams or actually traded stock market, stocks did the same thing. Facebook sold the 61.8 today. Apple sold the 61.8 last week, right? So these are normal market fluctuations. This isn't like something super crazy happening, super wonderful for Bitcoin. It's still a 61.8 retracement, right? For now. Now, if we close above that 13.5 and we can take this 13.5 out and turn that into support, then we're talking. Last stream I was talking about a possibility of going up to 13.5, possibly 16.8, before some kind of liquidity event, right? But it's too soon. We can't say we're going to 16K then we're coming down to 8. We just got to play this market as it comes, right? See what happens at the next critical level. We did have a little bit of a pause today. The chart kind of took a break, and I want to tell you where it took a break. And it was something we expect, right? If you trade with us, we're kind of expecting 13.2 to give some kickback, right? Because once again, fibs. Anybody tells you that fibs don't work, they're just not using them properly. What's up, Onion? What's up, Jason? All right, that kind of covers BTC. So we're looking for 13.5, possibly looking for 13.6. Currently, that 13.200 is the next high, right? Like we got to take that out. I think we will. I think 13.5 is definitely in the books. We gotta test last year's highs, right? You gotta take those out before continuing further up. Now, if I wanted to just draw, a single fib. And potentially, where's the 61.8? Well, that's where BTC stopped going up last year. I think we can take out the stop, right? I mean, it's going to be contingent on a few things. Also, just notice this possibility of some kind of channel forming. Now, whether stock market goes up or down, I'm gonna lead into that here in a little bit. They're still correlating assets, right? We can't expect Bitcoin to move and the stock market to dump. It just doesn't work that way, right? I think they're both still very much speculative and risk on assets, right? It's not like Bitcoin's a 20-year bond or anything. A nice little trend line that was retested, right? I mean, this was beautiful, long territory. And then boom, now we're going. Okay. Going over ETH USD, you guys know I'm somewhat of a, not quite maximalist, but very Ether heavy when it comes to my personal holdings. It's something that I've, said over and over and over. We're going to remove all small drawings, right? We're gonna kind of start this from scratch. I have a lot of alerts. Let me pick another Ether USD chart. There we go. This one's cleaner. Okay, so theoretically, if Ether was doing the same retracement BTC is doing, right? I posted this earlier. We could be looking for a $918 target, right? I mean, that would be the equivalent of Bitcoin retracing back to 13.5, even though Bitcoin's already almost back at 13.5. You know, Ether is a ways away. We know Ether had a lot of trouble last year. It just wasn't its year. So for now, you know, 545, that's pretty decent. I think the most short-term target, right? The most short-term critical move that Ether USD needs to accomplish is a close above 421, right? We get above 421, then we're talking targets of 538, possibly 544, which would be that grander 61.8. So 421, 538, and then, you know, if we go back on the daily chart, and I'm looking at the bigger retracement, 545. I'm not saying you're gonna go up one candle on 900, right? But if we were to compare this with BTC's move from last year, right? Let's go to the daily. Right, this would be the equivalent of Bitcoin's move from 3K to, man, why are we struggling? Right, that would be the equivalent of this move. This is totally possible. You know, for you guys that are ETH heavy, I wouldn't give up on ETH bags, especially because, you know, ETH has been lagging the last few days. ETH USD's got a lot of potential. Hey, Delilah. All right, I covered these two. I'm gonna go over ES, right? Actually, before I do that, you guys that have been following me for a while, you know about my December publication. You know, pretty much compared risk-on cycles between the S&P and BTC and how they correlate onto these bull breaks and how bull runs set up on Bitcoin after liquidity grabs on either or and after retests, right? So being that correlation historically has been like a standard correlation, right? Between both asset classes, it's only safe to assume that what we're seeing now, this consolidation that we're seeing here on the S&P, it's like a bull trap. I mean, sorry, it should be a bear trap, right? It should. I don't think it should take out 339, right? I think if bulls lose 339 on the S&P, you know, that previous high, they're going to be in trouble. But let's go to the weekly. Let's do a very long-term fib extension. I haven't done this since, I think, last stream. And I clear these charts out like all the time. So we shouldn't retest 302. You know, I think we're way beyond that in terms of market structure. Not right now. Maybe if we saw some kind of liquidity event post-election. But, you know, 341's looking like good support, right? 325 was good support on a weekly. Looking at a weekly chart, these look like very valid fibs. Just these turns, this turn over here on the weekly. So looking for 341 to hold. It should. And hopefully we get stimulus this week, right? If we were to get stimulus, I think deadline's 23rd. That puts it on Friday, which sucks for options holders, right? One thing we did like today on Facebook, I hit our target. I said sell out, don't look back, right? Apple last week, sell out, you know, buy further out. So as things at target, you know, in stimulus talks, deadlines on Friday. It seems more positive than negative. It seems like we're actually gonna get some kind of stimulus because they're actually now talking about the drafting a language instead of just ideas. So it's coming to fruition. And that being said, it should show its impact on the market soon. That's right. Sell and don't look back, man. Especially on those Facebook calls. I bought those puts. I announced my puts today at 128. Man, look at that, right? I mean, our call was 275. Our expiration was Friday. We hit it today. I said, sell, don't look back. Because if we do get a down day, it's not going to be pretty. And if better expire, buy a call for $200, sell it for $1,000, then have it expire worthless. So, don't look back. All right, back to the S&P. I think what's happening in Bitcoin should trigger. It's telling me that risk is on, right? These are risk on assets. Risk should be on in the equities market. It is coming. Another thing is, there's been a lot of speculation on another crash right now. I'd hate to be a permabull, but I don't think it's coming pre-election, right? Because if the Democrats, whoever's going to pick up this election, right? Whoever's picking up this ball and running with it, it's not going. They don't want a dying market. They don't want to pick up a market that's like that's COVIDed out. They don't want to pick up a market that's basically crashing and tumbling, because that's going to be a really tough job. So both these parties, even though they're out there fucking around, not trying to pass a bill that doesn't satisfy all their needs, right? It's in both their best interests not to send this down to 156, right? Not to send this down to these previous lows. It's definitely in their best interest, because they're gonna have to pick up the ball and keep playing this game, and nobody wants to start from zero. So that's that. Crash 2021. I'll tell you, in a crashy scenario would be post-election, right? I'm not like trying to make a crash prediction. My crash prediction was in December of last year, just based on the charts, because it was lacking a retest. What I basically wrote in December of last year is that, the chart was doing this, right? I'm going to go ahead and move or smart. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to move the chart. Yeah. Wrong click. All right. So the chart was basically doing this, right? It was going up. It cleared the significant fib level, right, at 305, and it didn't retest it, not on a weekly, right? And the reason, and it did that for a long time, right? When I wrote about it, it was like, this was October. I wrote about it in December, right? Like 1 to 7 weeks into it, and it lasted for a few more weeks. And then we had the COVID crash, right? The reason I was saying this rally was speculative is because the only time the S&P broke above a significant fib level and never retested it before going higher. And historically, every single one is retested. So it was basically before COVID was scary that I predicted a crash, and it was just based on the chart, right? Just based on the chart, like in a retest, and it was deep, man. It was the deepest freaking retest, and it set off for risk on environment, right? And this is kind of what I was talking about, right? In that paper. So now we're not lacking retests. So I don't know if we're gonna see a savage crash, right? I don't think we will. I think 330. Okay, back to a crash. I think if there's a failure to transfer power, we're going to see a crash scenario. If, like, Biden wins, Trump's like, you know what? I'm not handing you the keys to the White House, dude. You know, go build your own damn White House. That would cause a lot of turbulence, right? The transfer of power, that would be it. All right. Let's talk tickers. Let's talk individual charts. I'm kind of looking at everything. So show me assets, right? Whether it's crypto stocks, commodities. Let's take a look at them. I'm up for anything. Natural gas still climbing. We have yet to see the ETF do the same. It's looking kind of wedgy on futures. I'm still long, right? I'm still long. I'm expecting some kind of gas squeeze. What did UNG do today? Not much. I was chilling Twitter. Okay, awesome. Thank you for those. Let me talk about Twitter real quick. Twitter did great, right? We had a great day on Twitter. Seeing like several ways to analyze this chart. It's really, I like charting things by comparison. Like, what does this look like the most in terms of what we recently traded? Because it's the same market, right? Like, same players, same algorithms, same everything doing these moves. And this really reminds me of Beyond, even though they have nothing to do with each other. But being at the 61.8, I don't know if we're here or we're higher, but I do think we've got enough juice to 61, right? You guys know that my $50 calls, I plan on profit taking is 61. I bought them, back here. So let's see how tomorrow plays out on Twitter. The 61.8 is right at 51.13, and is my fib too stretched out? My fib's a little. Okay, so 51.49, right? Let's see how that acts/reacts tomorrow before we make up our mind on 61. All right, going over Tesla, Apple, Disney. Tesla had earnings today. I didn't quite read the earnings release. Looks good, man. Looks good. Just gotta clear that 61.8 again. And then it should get going, right? It just it's got to clear 451. It clears 451. They're in straight up bull mode. But if we don't clear 451 on this next retest, get out, maybe buy a put. Apple's bull flagging. I still have my calls. Some expire tomorrow. Some expire in 2 weeks. Some expire next week. I'm pretty deep in Apple. It really reminds me of Facebook before the break, right? You're gonna see me do a lot of this, but I'm like, oh, this looks just like that because things look the same, right? It's just the kind of market we're in right now. Right, so Facebook was flagging, flag broke out. Apple's flagging, flag's likely gonna break out, right? We're above it, kind of came back down. Earnings are next week. That's the thing. We're approaching earnings season 2, and I think expectations for Q3 are going to be better than Q2, especially since economies started opening back up. So now, with earnings being better, or if earnings are better, expecting a crash now, going into like S&P and QQQ earning, NASDAQ composite earnings, next week. That doesn't make any sense. Why would we dump unless it was like a liquidity grab type dump where it is, it's just to take your money and scare you, right? And now, okay, so back to Apple. Bull flag. I want to see 122. I want to see 125. I want to see 130 by earnings. Disney. So it's a little tricky. So Disney's one of these charts, man, where, you know, I was talking about buying Disney at 113, and some of the guys are like, no, but the theme parks are closed and it's not going to do anything. And you know, Disney's smart, man. They're into streaming. They're doing all sorts of digital stuff. And they've evolved, right? They actually survived through COVID. And we're above 125, so I'd expect continuation. Let's pull out the parallel channel tool. All right, so I mean, we at least want to take out the middle of the channel, and we want to stay above 125, right? That would be the best two scenarios: is stay above 125 and take out the middle of the channel. Now, more intraday on Disney. Move drawings. You know, that's trouble, right? We got, once again, got to get above middle of the channel, which is be 130. But it's still looking slightly flaggy. Man, you guys are crushing it. All right. I'm still catching up on requests, so slow down. Let me catch up on requests, and I'll once I'm ready for more, I'll ask for more. Thanks for all of them, though. All right, so eBay averaged down a day. I don't see a reason for this except for earnings are coming up on the 28th, right, in a few days. So just volatility. I had 55 calls. We were in the money. Didn't sell them, but the one expired for like 11.6. So we've got a few weeks to get back up. It's only like $3 away. Target's still here. And this is why I bought those puts. This is why I bought those puts on Facebook today, even though it was a small position. But, you know, when you see the market do something twice, you play it the third time, man. You know, like, why not? Why not? Apple did it, eBay did it, PayPal necked a little bit, Home Depot just play a 61.8 weekly put, make some money. If not, keep the calls open. Whoa. All right. Neo Bcash. Man, I don't even know why Bcash. So Neo, I mean, hasn't done shit since last time excuse my French, hasn't done anything last time I talked about it. I don't see a change in this chart. I still see like this mega wedge that's super extended. It literally, it's just like ranging, right? It's freaking ranging. I want to see this chart dump, man. This, you know, I was reading about their profit margin. It's like 5%. So if they have a bad, you know, earnings aren't till December, so it might be a while. But this looks like it's topped out, ready to come down a little, or maybe a lot. My opinion. If you're a neo bull, you know, you're like, oh, but it's gonna be the next Tesla. Well, you know, like, that's fine. I'm not saying this is a bad stock or a bad company. I'm just ready to see it come down a bit, right? BCH. When you showed me a crypto chart, guys, tell me what pair, USD or BTC, or Ether, because, you know, you can't just. It's frustrating, man. I don't know. I don't believe in Bcash. I don't hold any Bcash. I don't trade Bcash. except for like very specific moments in time. And this is not one of them. I'm not seeing anything special. I mean, if you go to BCH BTC, it's probably eating dust. Yeah, it's still eating shit, you know, like it might be wedging. It might be wedging. Possibly, right? So we might see some kind of Bcash move. I don't even know which Bcash is the real Bcash anymore. Between that and BSV and all the drama, like I think Bcash is gonna go to 0. I think BSV is gonna go to 0, right? Eventually. What's up, introspective life? What's up? Okay, Bcash. SBE, Tesla competitor for charging station electric cars. Switchback Energy Acquisition Corp. I don't know, man. It's like a brand new chart, right? Would have went from 10 to 16. I can't chart this. There's nothing on here. There's no data. We don't know market share. We don't know how profitable they are. When did they start trading? A year ago. It's definitely kind of channeling. Straight in fibs, right? I mean, if this goes back to 15, and we got confluence between a trend line and fib. If this comes down to 15, it might be interesting to like counter trade that back up. But yeah, that's all I can see over here. I'll put an alert. I'll keep an eye on it. It's interesting. I was saying like Tesla competitor is pretty big. You know, it's like a really bold statement. Because there's nobody competing with Tesla right now, not at the level they are. Nobody's been in the EV game as long as they have. Nobody is as integrated as they are, right? So, yeah, I mean, if they're just making chargers, it's one thing, but do they do their own manufacturing? You know, it's an acquisition corp. It looks like they just buy things and try to make, you know, like, oh, here's a good startup, we're gonna buy them, you know, type thing. I don't know. XMR. Remember I covered Monero last time and it was still like retracing back up to 61.8. I like the Bittrex chart. And this looks better than Bcash. Ooh, excuse me. 118, 130. I don't know, man. Like right now, I would focus on. So what I'm doing in the crypto space is I'm basically BTC and Ether heavy as I can be. And once we get to the point where like 16K or 13.5, where I think BTC is possibly going to turn, that's when I'm going to want to look in again back into alts, right? Because we know about BTC dominance, we know how it impacts the market, and we've seen Bitcoin crush alts time and time and time again. So to that, you know, altcoin USD, alt USD might be a good thing, but in like there's no other way to say it, but if they're not outperforming BTC or Ether, then you might as well not be exposed, right? That's just So ETH doesn't quite lead BTC all the time, Delilah. There are moments in time where it does. Right now, it looks like BTC just stole the show. And we're gonna see that kind of go back and forth. Usually, on like a BTC rally, I think it takes a few days for Ether to wake up and the other alts to wake up. But the thing is, like, how far up is BTC gonna go? Right? Are we looking at 16K, then correct, or 24K, then correct, or 30? Can we do 100% here in BTC? Possibly. I'm not gonna go there yet. And then but that kind of brings back the altcoin argument. Well, hey, like alts can easily double in USD price. They can, but I don't know if they're gonna do it when BTC is gaining in USD and crushing dominance, right? So like, let's kind of compare XMR BTC or XMR USD. Just look at structure. Remember that $900 move I highlighted for Ether? If Monero does the same thing, we're looking for 306. That would be the 61.8, and that would be where like BTC's headed. All right. I wouldn't say it's not a bad sign that it's leading. ETH was running on a lot of ETH 2.0 and DeFi, right? All the Uniswappers and all that junk. And once all that starts going to zero, we're gonna see ETH really start reclaiming a lot of its steam. A lot of ETH right now is locked up in Uniswap, and once those swapping tokens just start losing value, because the runners are running, like the majors are running, then we're gonna see the turn in Ether, and like Ether really get moving, like kind of did back in 2018, 2017. All right, Link USD, AUG USD, BNB USD. Updated Link USD sorta in chat. I did say it was doing like a 61.8, and it's move drawing. So from like the closest swing high to the closest swing low, we gotta get above 11.4, and then we're gonna look at some kind of channel trade, right? Or possibly a wedge or something that'll put it up at like 12.3. And if and when we're above 12.3, then the ultimate target is going to be that $15 one, right? Like, I mean, now we're at 11.04. I want to see why does this always happen? There you go. I want to see 12.3 and ultimately 15 before saying we're going higher, before making that kind of call. Oh, I skipped UMA and Uni. What is UMA, man? Looks kind of wedgy. Looks interesting. I don't know anything about this. I don't. I'm not going to pretend like I do. It looks interesting. It looks like it's got potential. I just don't know if I don't know what it is. BTC chart don't look great. Right, going over Uni. As I said, as the Uniswap coins start going closer and closer to zero, we're gonna see Ether and BTC dominance. All right, Algo USD. Man, I got stopped out of Algo a few times. I'm currently out of Algo. I'm stopped out. Is it gonna rally? Probably. Do I like it a lot right now? I don't. Kind of. Yeah, I don't like it too much. It's kind of. Let's hit it with another angle. Let's try the harmonic scanner. Bam, you guys, if you're using the scanner, you're getting entries on alts. It's above this 61.8 clearly. And 3319 next target. Yeah, that's my only comment. All right, BNB USD. I'm still long. I'm yawning pretty hardcore tonight, man. Sorry, guys. I've been going to bed really early past few weeks. So we're above the 61.8 on Binance Coin. I want to see a move higher. I want to see like 53. That's the trading view chart. And if you look at like the actual tether chart, I think it's a lower target, but we're also above the 61.82. And that's what's important, right? So 49. Alright, what settings am I using for the scanner? You should be able to see them. If not, now you can. 9, 13, 21, 32. That's what I have in the scanner video too. So if you're using the scanner, those are my go-to settings. And instead of changing the settings, I actually just change the time frame. All right, so this is a daily. So if you go to the 4 hour, 60, and so forth. Just keep going through the time frames. It's a scanner, right? Alright, fam. We've got one PPT off Facebook. PPT. I'm guessing the crypto. Man, did you buy the pump? I think he did. Populous. I don't know, man. Like somebody asked me about ONT last week, and I tagged them yesterday when it hit the target. I said it was going to hit. And I said, hey, this thing is where I told you it's going to turn possibly. And I actually put this up in Discord. And then, right on the money I hit it. And then I looked on FTX and it's not tradable. So, but at least I tagged you in Discord and posted that. All right, fam bam. Sweet. Thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Thank you for all your participation. Oh, I missed Tezos. Like Tezos was very tightly correlated with Link, and then something happened. They're not anymore. They're not. It's not. It's not pretty. But one thing I relied on quite heavily this year is like these kind of like regressive trend lines, right? I don't know if this is one. I just don't see a formation. Let's scan it. You kind of had a top. 120. I think we can go lower. We'll go down to this trend line. You know, once we go to this trend line, we'll revisit it like 1.7, 1.8. I'm adding an alert because this is something I'd want to trade, and I want to trade on futures and on margins. So thank you, lad. Thanks, Bears. Thanks, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. Smash that like button, share the video, hop in Discord. Tomorrow's Thursday. We don't do anything special on Thursday. Friday, I'm probably gonna open up our BitMEX Savagery channel and our stock market channel, so everybody can just kind of pile in and join us for the day. Kind of hold me to that. If I don't do it, just tag me Friday morning and I'll get it done. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Trade safe, and yeah, trail your stop losses, guys. Make some money, and always profit take, right? Don't let the market wipe you out. I'm out.